On Saturday, November 18, 2006, University of Missouri Kansas City sophomore Jesse Ross got in the rented van with his classmates and chaperone to attend the 2006 Model United Nations Conference at the University of Chicago. The 19-year-old had gone to the 2005 conference and stated that it was one of the highlights of his freshman year, so he was very much looking forward to going again since the start of the semester. The group made the 10-hour drive to Chicago and arrived at their hotel, the 4 Points Sheraton, that late afternoon. Jesse's roommate was his good friend Ralph Parker. The two had gone to the same high school and spent most of their time at the conference together. On Monday afternoon, the pair went to a Harley-Davidson store, then had dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe before going to attend the 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. session at the Sheraton Chicago, the hotel where the majority of events would take place. Jesse returned to the 4 Points Sheraton at around 10 p.m. and joined a group of students who were hanging out in one of the hotel rooms. Despite a ban on alcohol, this rule was often ignored. The party lasted a few hours before the students decided to return to the Sheraton Chicago, where an end-of-convention dance was taking place. Jesse was seen on surveillance footage leaving the 4 Points Sheraton at 12:43 a.m., and then seen entering the Sheraton Chicago at 1:09 a.m. He briefly attended the dance. Photos taken by students show him smiling and holding up a Powerade bottle filled with a vodka cocktail. Next he went upstairs to another hotel room party, where he continued drinking until he was needed at a Model United Nations Security Council meeting. He arrived at the meeting at around 2:30 a.m. One student noted that it looked like he needed help walking and assumed he was drunk. At 2:50 a.m., he whispered something to Ralph, but Ralph didn't hear what he said. Jesse got up and left the room. Another student saw Jesse after he left the meeting and believed that he was drunk. His eyes were red and he was slurring his words. The student was concerned, but Jesse said that he was just going to go outside to get some fresh air and he would be right back. This would be the last confirmed sighting of Jesse Ross, as he would never return to the meeting. When Ralph woke up at 10 a.m. the next morning, there was no sign of his roommate. As checkout time drew nearer, he grew more concerned. He called Jesse's cell phone, but it went straight to voicemail. He wasn't at the Sheraton Chicago, and nobody had seen him since 3 a.m. All of his personal belongings were left in his hotel room. Chicago police detectives arrived at the hotel at 4 p.m. By this time, most of the students that attended the conference had departed, leaving investigators with few witnesses to interview. Knowing that he had been drinking, it was possible that Jesse had fallen into the Chicago River. They walked up and down the river without finding anything. Alleyways and dumpsters in the area were also searched, but no clues were uncovered. A more extensive search of the Chicago River took place a few days later by police, the Coast Guard, and fire department divers. The crews had recovered bodies of suicide victims from the river on a regular basis, so were confident that if Jesse was in the river, he would be found. They found no sign of the missing teen in the water. Detectives contacted students who had attended the conference, but they were reluctant to speak as most of them were underage and alcohol was involved. This made constructing a timeline of Jesse's movements very difficult. Adding to the mystery of the disappearance, police were unable to find footage of Jesse leaving the hotel. Ralph Parker informed them that his friend never used the back door of the hotel. He would use a stairway located adjacent to the conference room, which led directly to the valet parking area. This was the closest exit to the 4 Points Sheraton, and the path did not go past the river, making it less likely that he would have fallen in and drowned. After weeks of searching, divers were confident that Jesse Ross was not in the river. Numerous witnesses stated that Jesse was interested in going to a rave. He was interested in becoming a DJ, and he wanted to see if the DJ at the rave could give him any tips on how to do so. He had a yellow flyer advertising a rave that was taking place in Chicago, as well as a bunch of mix CDs he had made. These items weren't found with the rest of his belongings at the hotel, leading detectives to speculate that the missing college student may have gone to the rave and met with foul play. Despite efforts from family, friends and investigators, the disappearance of Jesse Ross remains a mystery.